Hey, what's up, folks? How's it going? This is Abhijit here, and welcome to DevOps Challenge Hub. So let's start with today's interview question. I hope you are following the series AWS Devops interview series. And today's interview question will be based on IAM, Identity Access Management, Identity Federation, and SSO. What is Identity Federation and SSO? So how would you implement federation with corporate identity providers? So what is federation? So federation allows user to log into AWS using corporate credentials, single sign-on. So no need to create IAM users for each endpoint. It uses SML 2.0 OIDC or Web Identity Federation. So, for example, log into Flipkart or Amazon or some other application. Every time you don't want to create your separate user account, right? You try to log in using Google or Facebook. Sign in using Google. Sign in using Facebook. Right? That is the way you sign in. So single sign-on. Once you are signed in into Google or Facebook, they provide your identity validation to the other application. So similarly, in corporate, in a big company, they won't be using Google and Facebook. They will have their own identity provider. So once employee uh, entered in the organization, their identity will be provided, like created in their company database, and some identity provider will be validating that. Right? That is the identity provider, IDP. IDP will be validating that. Like IDP can be Okta, Azure AD, Google Workspace, so it can be anything. Uh, like common on Azure AD, Okta, or Google Workspace. So this identity provider, what it will do once company validated, then company has so many applications, ACP application, then AWS account, then so many other accounts. So they don't want to create account for the employee in 10 different applications. So employee once logged in into uh, company like a company employee is validated by company IDP, then uh, employee will be able to log into AWS or SAP without putting his credential, without creating his new account. So that's the federation. Federation allows user to log into AWS using corporate credentials, single sign-on. No need to create IAM users for each endpoint. And it uses SML 2.0 OIDC OpenID Connect and Web Identity Federation or Web Identity Federation. So, what is Open Identity Connect? It's an authentication protocol that verifies the user identity and provides basic profile information. Like, for example, Google provides basic information to the third party where you want to log in, right? Where to Flipkart, let's say. So, when you are trying to log in, it will provide your maybe name, email ID, and profile picture. So essentially, it allows client to verify the identity of a user based on authentication performed by an identity provider. So how to implement federation? Choose your identity provider. What will be your identity provider, right? And role based, go to role, and then create role, create role. Then you can choose like SML 2.0 federation. You can choose SML 2.0 federation, or you can use wave identity. Wave identity you can choose Amazon Cognito, or you can choose like you have to give pool ID, Amazon Cognito, or Facebook application ID. Right? So for corporate, it's SML 2.0 federation. Allow users federated with SML 2.0 from a corporate directory to perform actions in this account. So you choose the identity provider, SML or whatever, like, and then SML identity provider in AWS IAM. And then if your identity provider is Okta or Azure AD, then you have to then you will get that IDP's metadata XML. So that XML you have to upload. Then define IAM role for the federation. So once you upload here, then you have to define the policy, trust policy that okay, it can do S3 full access. It can do any operation on S3 bucket. And once the trust policy is set up, it will IDP will be allowed to do STS assume role. It will be able to assume the role. And then you have to go to the IDP at Azure or whatever Okta, and you have to add AWS as the SML application. You have to add AWS as SML application. Set role mapping and pass SML as a step. Then you can able to log in. Use login to the corporate portal, click AWS app, and then get temporary access. So log into corporate portal, go to the AWS app, and then get the access. So this is the identity federation, and for corporate SML is very popular SML type, SML 2.0. So you can tell in that review, you can explain it like a story. Okay, explain it, uh, give some examples, explain it with example. It's easy to explain with example stories, right? So what is SML 2.0 IDS and Web Identity Federation? SML 2.0 is for, it's a security assertion markup language used in corporate settings based on XML. It's based on XML, SML. Security assertion markup language and common tools like Salesforce, Office 365, SAP, etc. They use it, enable single sign-on. How it works? You try to access service like Salesforce. You are redirected to your identity provider like Okta or ADFS. Identity provider authenticates and sends you SMS assertion XML file back to the Salesforce. So XML file back to the Salesforce and you are able to log in. Open ID Connect OIDC. It's built on top of OAuth 2.0. Modern web and mobile app uses OIDC. It is based on JSON REST API, supported by Google, Microsoft, AWS Cognito. So user logs into through identity provider like Google. They are issued an ID token plus access token. So ID token and access token is provided here. OIDC Open ID Connect is a OAuth-based token. So ID token and access token provided here. App access these tokens to log you into access resources. Then Web Identity Federation. Web Identity Federation sign in using third-party identity provider like Google, Facebook, Amazon to access cloud resources, especially on AWS. For example, you have a mobile app, and mobile app users are logging into the mobile app using Facebook, sign in using Google, and after that, user wants to upload some file to S3 bucket, and you don't want to create for each user IAM role for each user, right? So you want they should be able to upload the files to S3 on AWS using their Google and Facebook, right? Third-party provider. So here we'll be doing web identity federation in this scenario. Then it is common with cognitive and IAM rules. How it works: sign into Google. Google returns a token. The token is exchanged and temporary AWS credential. The user access AWS service securely without hardcoding the keys. So without hardcoding the keys, it can access the AWS service. It can upload some files to the bucket, etc. So multiple logins. User can use one identity across apps is the SSO. Single sign-on. Security risk reduces password reuse and phishing risk. Centralized control. Companies can manage access policies from one place. Mobile web app supports third-party login without storing password. Cloud resources access. Enable temporary secure access. No need for long-term key. So that way, from your mobile app, user is able to sign up using Facebook or Google and able to upload some files to your AWS account S3 bucket. Because of this is possible, web identity generation. SML 2.0, it's a best for enterprise, XML format, also in corporate apps. OIDC is web app mobile, JSON format, JWT JSON, login via Google, Apple. Web identity federation, cloud apps, best for cloud apps. It format is a token exchange and secure AWS access with third-party login. Okay, let's go to today's quiz section. Which of the following protocol is most commonly used for enterprise single sign-on? So enterprise single sign-on, we know is SML 2.0. SML 2.0 answer is C. Which protocol uses JSON Web Token and is built on top of OAuth 0? JSON Web Token, OAuth 0, OAuth 2.0, OpenID Connect, OpenID Connect, OIDC, OpenID Connect. In AWS and Web Identity Federation allows users to sign in using social identity provider like Google, Facebook. So answer is C. So that's it for today. Hope you like this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also follow my LinkedIn page, Devops Challenge Hub, and follow my WhatsApp page also. I post regularly. I post updates regularly. Thank you for watching this video, and see you again in the next video.